everyone. Why don't you ever borrow money from a leprechaun? Because they're always a little short. Oh, I got more. What kind of cereal do leprechauns eat? Oh, I picked an easy one. Okay. What do you get when you cross a 4-leaf clover with poison ivy? A rash of good luck. Okay, final one. What do you call a fake Irish stone? A sham rock. Okay, I'm done. That's enough St. Patrick stuff. Until bingo. Anyway, let's look at that title. Kindness and compassion are not signs of weakness. They are signs of strength. Now, I don't know about any of you when you were younger. Did anybody get teased for showing signs of compassion, signs of kindness? You were made to feel weak. We even have, sometimes the news tells us that weakness, that you're weak because you're out there for the underdog. I have felt that way at times, but I want you to remember, they are signs of strength. It takes a strong person, spiritually and emotionally, to show kindness and compassion. It takes someone awake and conscious of others around them. I know an awful lot of people, and I see them in the grocery store especially, that walk like this. They don't see anybody, their head is down, and there's just no connection. And I think something's been beat out of them, that they don't want to look at anybody. So I find, look at these pictures, okay? These are simple, everyday acts of kindness, aren't they? Acts of compassion. So I'm at Kroger's the other day. Was it at Kroger's or Walmart? I was doing massive grocery shopping. Let me think. Why did this hit me? It was at Kroger's. Yes, because I went there after work, and I knew I needed to pick up things, and I was tired, and I had a long day, and I just really didn't want to go to the grocery store, but I had to go to the grocery store. Have you been there? Right? I don't really want to go because you're only going in for 5 things, and you come out with 20. And so, anyway, I'm going through Kroger's, as I usually do, and I'm thinking, this is how I'm feeling. I'm just drug out. It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm just drug out. And I thought, oh, there's a Starbucks in our Kroger's. I'll get a Starbucks, half calf. Maybe that'll lift me up. But as I go to Starbucks counter, there's the flowers, fresh flowers. Now, you guys, many of you have heard I do this, but I'm going to repeat because I do it often. And I'm like, oh, let's go to the discounted fresh flowers. And, of course, there's multiple fresh flowers for $4. And so I grab one because I'm going to give it away. That's why I go to the discount flowers, because I'm going to buy them and give them away to someone randomly in Kroger. So anyway, I'm in line, and most of you know that I've been challenged with technology for a whole month, and it has continued. It didn't stop last Sunday. So, of course, the checkout person is having difficulty ringing my stuff up. And you know how it is. I got people behind me who thought I would go fast, and they're like, right, we picked the wrong line again, Ethel. And so, so anyway, the flowers got rung up first because I wanted to make sure, because I start ripping the price tag off of them because I'm going to give them away. So as the checkout person is trying to deal with the snag of her cash register, I'm over there biting the flowers, and she's looking at me like, I said, I'm going to give these to somebody. And she's like, oh, whatever, I see everything in this line. So finally, here comes the rest of the groceries, and I apologize to the people behind me. I'm sorry. And so now I'm like, I'm going to find somebody to give these to. I say to the checkout person, and again, she's like, whatever. And so I just step away about 3 feet from the cashier line, and I'm like, who's going to get these? And I see the lady in the next line, and she's kind of bent over, and she's, getting her stuff out one by one. And I thought, there it is. I leave my cart, and I go over, and I say, these are for you. She goes, oh, no, I can't take those. Why? Why would you give those to me? I said, because they're for you. And she just started, oh my goodness, really? You would have thought I gave her a $100 check. Now, meanwhile, the cashier who's had difficulty with her cash register is tearing up, and tears are coming down her face. And the couple in the cart behind me, the woman and my husband and wife are there, and the woman is like, oh my God. And I go to my cart, and I go back to the older couple behind me, and I said, see what $4 can do? So there's a video I want to show you, because it scientifically backs up what just happened in Kroger's. If we can turn the lights off so you can see this. Let's see. There we go. Pay attention. I didn't touch this technology, so hopefully. Wait a minute, we got to get sound, so we got to back it up. See, I didn't touch it. I swear I didn't touch the technology. She's right there, of course, trying to help. Do we have the sound on? Did we test it? Wait a minute. It's just one click away. One click away. Vision, sound working. Vision, sound working. Okay. All right. Well, let's start at the beginning, and I'll try to talk this through. How about that? Okay. I'll do my best. Sandy would probably be the one to do it. Okay. So here we go. The science of kindness.
Antidepressants. Kindness stimulates the production of serotonin.
Wait a minute, maybe.
The science of kindness. Matter of fact. Like most medical antidepressants, kindness stimulates the production of serotonin. Serotonin heals your wounds, calms you down, and makes you happy. The real kicker? Kindness boosts serotonin in the giver, the receiver, and everyone who witnesses it.
There we are.
Every act of kindness also spreads through 3 degrees of separation, and serotonin is just the beginning.
From $4
You'll also produce
worth of
more
flowers.
endorphins, the brain's natural painkiller. Endorphins are 3 times more effective than morphine, and they won't land you in jail. And if that's still not quite enough, being kind produces oxytocin in your system. Oxytocin, the cuddle hormone, promotes social bonding, exerts an immediate calming effect, increases trust and generosity, strengthens the immune system, and boosts virility. I guess they weren't joking when they said, being kind is a good thing. To top it all off, compassionate people also have 2 times the amount of DHEA, which slows down aging, and 23% less cortisol, the infamous stress hormone. With so many benefits, every act of kindness is a healthy one. It's a scientific fact.
There you go. Is that enough reason to give you to go buy a $4 pack of flowers at the grocery store and give it away? And what was that? Yes, they are science experiments. And I found this video after I did this thing in Kroger's and realized that's exactly what the multiplication that happened there was amazing. And that wasn't my intention. But I'm telling you, I'm not telling you this story to say, oh, Kathy's so good. I'm telling you that you can do this. 2, it's so easy. I'm doing it at Kroger's. It didn't take a block of an hour of time to give kindness and compassion to someone. That lady that I gave the flowers to, she, who was bent over, somehow made it to catch up with me going out the door. I say, you just made my day. You never know what someone's going through. I didn't need to know what church she went to or what political candidate she's voting for. I didn't need to know any of that. I just was led to give them to her. And sometimes I give them to him. Oh, when you give them to a man, they really don't know what to do with it. It's even more fun. So let's go to this slide here. Kindness is the most important tool to spread love among humanity. Kindness is the most important tool to spread love among humanity. Not that hard if you think about it. Let's go to the next one. My favorite, to quote sometimes is the Dalai Lama. And he says that love and compassion are necessities, not luxuries. Without them, humanity will not survive. Boy, your songs were right on point. Every one of them. Love and compassion are necessities, not luxuries. This is important stuff, people. And I'm telling you, you have full permission to take pictures of these slides. Share them on your Facebook page. Share them on your social media. Let them know what the church you go to shares every single Sunday. Positive messages of action steps. This isn't that difficult, but it is necessity. It is a necessity. It's not a luxury. I found a story here, and it was just a short story from Dr. Mohammed Basha, and he lives in Gainesville, Florida. And he says, as I walked through the parking lot of the hospital, heading to my car, all I could think about was the dire diagnosis I had handed my patient, Jimmy, at the end of the day, pancreatic cancer. Just then I noticed an elderly gentleman handing some tools to someone working under a stalled car. That someone under the car was Jimmy. I said, Jimmy, what are you doing? I yelled out to him, and he said, Jimmy dusted off his pants, and he said, my cancer didn't tell me not to help others. He said that, and waving at the old man, he started his car for him. The engine roared to life, and the old man thanked Jimmy, and he drove off. Then Jimmy got in his car and took off as well. Random acts of kindness. He did not let his diagnosis walk him to the parking lot like this. Down, head down, and not seeing anything but the diagnosis the doctor just gave him. No, he chose life. He chose to take these tunnel vision, these blinders off, and see others in the world. It's a necessity. Let's go to that next one, please. Use your voice for kindness, your ears for compassion, your hands for charity, your mind for truth, and your heart for love. Let's break that one down. Use your voice for kindness. What does that mean? Say nice things, but don't say them like, you have a nice day. Use your voice with kindness. Your ears for compassion. What does that mean? Listen. I could really solve this problem if I just could talk. Just listen. Your hands for charity. Bake something. Give. I saw somebody bring a bag full of stuff and take it and fill the blessing box down there on Galbraith Road. That's use your hands for charity. Your mind for truth. That's another whole sermon in itself. Your mind for truth. Take it in. Whatever is coming at you, use your filter. Be the watcher at the portal of your mind. Is it true? Is it kind? Is it worthy? Before you take it in is your truth. Run it by that filter, because so many people are repeating things that are not truthful, but they heard it or they saw it and they repeated it and they didn't fact check it. Use your awareness before you say things, and your heart for love. And your heart for love. Now that's easy in here, to use your heart for love, because these people kind of think the way you do. They're huggers, they smile, they look at the positive things, tend to look at the positive things in their life and in the world. But can you go out in the world to Kroger's and do something like that? Let me tell you another experience. Isn't this interesting? I always get these experiences the week before my talk. I go to Staples yesterday. I got to pick up ink for my printer. And I'm at the checkout, and the cashier's helping me with something. I had a question. And the manager comes in from outside, and he was like, stands behind her, not looking at her behind. His back is to her, but I can see his side of his face. And I say, "Good morning." You guys are nothing much good about it. And he's looking down. He's not looking at me. And he says, "Sometimes I just wish I weren't even in this world." And I said, "Oh no." I said, "If you weren't here, I wouldn't get to see your smile." He went, see how sneaky that was? He was not smiling, but he smiled when I said, "But then I wouldn't get to see your smile." You don't know how sometimes little things like this can change. There's another story from someone in Nicholasville, Kentucky, Clarence Stevens. He says, "Leaving a store, I returned to my car only to find that I had locked my keys and cell phone inside. A teenager was riding his bike and saw me kick my tire and say a few choice words. And the kid on his bike stopped and he said, 'What's wrong?' I explained my situation. I said, 'But I can't even call my wife. My phone is in the car. And therefore she can't bring me the car keys since I can't get a hold of her.' And he said, 'Well, why don't you just tell your wife not to worry about it, that I'm coming to get the key?' And he said, 'I can't call her.' he said, 'Well, I got an idea.' He said, 'Don't worry about it.' He said, 'I'll go and tell me where your house is, and I'll go and alert your wife and tell her what happened, and then she can come and get you.' He says, 'You can't do that. I live 7 miles away. It's for 7 miles round trip.' And the kid said, 'That's okay.' He said, He said, well, I'll give you some money. He goes, no. He said, I just need exercise. He takes off like a cowboy in the movie in the sunset. And my wife comes with the car keys. She gave him the car keys. That's what it was. They only had one car. And so she had an extra set of keys, and the kid got him and drove him back. These are young people, right? There's so many examples here of Garden Park. Steve Schill number 1 and Steve Schill number 2. Most of you know that we have 2 Steve Schills in this church. It's no kidding. They live a couple miles away from each other, and they didn't even know they existed until they showed up at this church. What's your name, Steve Schill? What's your name, Steve Schill? What's your dad's name? Bill Schill. What's your dad's name? Bill Schill. You can't make this up. Steve Schill number 2 is in the back laughing. And Steve Schill's out there, if he can hear me there. It's the truth. Okay, you've got Steve Schill number 1. He was here first. That's how he got number 1. He is out there always watching who's pulling in, who needs help, who needs assistance, whose battery went dead out in the parking lot, to get the door, take the wheelchair out for somebody. He is always on guard for you. Nobody ever asked him to do that. We've got Ray who keeps watch at the door. But Steve Schill number 2, I want to bring him up because he brings anywhere from 2 to 4 to 5 kids to church. They are not his relatives. He has taken these kids under his wings to get them to come to church and get a positive message upstairs in the youth program. The fellowship, talk about compassion and kindness. That is growing and growing and growing down there. And people are coming down because they're meeting other people. It's now become like a coffee clutch group. Only there's no clutches down there. People are mingling and meeting each other. The men's group, kindness and compassion. They did a project not that long ago where they filled brown bags to keep in their car, so when a homeless person experiencing homelessness is on the street or on the red light or at the expressway, the interchange on and off ramp, they just go, here you go, and it's got staples in their bags. And then I mentioned the blessing box. The blessing box out there, I can't tell you because I have a good vantage point from my office, but I get to see when people stop and get things from that box. And it is just so cute to watch. It's just like they got these little treasures in there. And sometimes it's just they grab a tube of toothpaste and a roll of paper towels. But they're so happy to be getting this. And this church is in a neighborhood that has lots of needs. And so this is such a blessing. I want to leave you some quotes because Jesus, throughout the Bible, talked about this. His whole ministry was about compassion, kindness, and love. His entire ministry, for only 33 years that we got him on earth, it was all about trying to teach us to live that way. And here we are 2,000 some odd years later, and I'm not sure if we still have it figured out yet. So we have to keep talking about it and keep talking about it. Let's go to that next quote. Mother Teresa, I looked her up. She emphasized the importance of kindness and compassion by stating, spread love everywhere you go, and urging people to be kind and merciful. Let no one ever come to you without coming away better and happier. I got that guy at Staples, didn't I? I didn't even know it until I read this quote, and I'm like, oh, there we go. Martin Luther King Jr. emphasized the power of love, kindness, and compassion as essential tools for transforming enemies into friends and achieving justice, stating love is the only force. Where am I at there? The only force capable of transforming an enemy into a friend. That's big. Love is the only force capable of transforming an enemy into a friend. Buddha teachings emphasize cultivating love, kindness, which is called metta, and compassion, which is called karuna, towards all beings, regardless of their nature or circumstance, as a path towards personal and universal well-being. Jesus emphasized the importance of kindness and compassion through his teachings and actions, urging followers to love their neighbors as themselves, forgive others, and care for the vulnerable. He didn't ask us to do much, did he? Not really. But what is it that we get so self-consumed? Let's go to a couple more slides here. Be an example. Show kindness to unkind people. Forgive people who don't deserve it. Come on. Don't pass that line by. Well, I can do without them in my life. I'm not asking you to have them in your life. I'm asking you to just forgive them and get on with your life. Love unconditionally. Your actions always reflect who you are. I look around here and I look at so many of you givers in the world. So many of you are givers. This message you could write. But I'm here to remind you and here to remind myself. Let's go to that next one. Compassion, Thomas Merton. Anybody know that author? Oh, yeah. Compassion is the keen awareness of the interdependence of all things. What does that mean, interdependence? We all depend on each other, right? It's a keen awareness to know that you are not separate. This is oneness consciousness that Jesus was trying to teach us as well. Oneness, we are all in this together. Oh, and then the next one. It's hard to read that, but it is in the, wait a minute, I thought I had it here. Okay. As a man, that's it. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. As a man or woman thinketh in their heart, in your heart, not your head, so are you. So are you. So I want to end with our affirmation, because this is what I want us all to practice this week. Today, I practice kindness and compassion to my fellow human family, even when it's hard. Even when it's hard. So when you see a Facebook or social media post from a family or someone you thought you call a friend, and it does not agree with you, what's your job? Be kind. Don't respond. Pause. Pray. Oh no, pause some more. Because you're probably not ready yet. Pray some more. And sometimes you even got to go back a third time. Whatever it takes in order for you to practice kindness and compassion before you respond. Okay? That's all I got to say. Let's say it again. Today, I practice kindness and compassion to my fellow human being, even when it's hard. Amen. Namaste. That the compassionate and kind Christ in me truly sees and honors that kind and compassionate Christ presence in each and every single one of you. Namaste. Thank you.